Well, meanwhile, Apple stock closed in the down less than 1% today. Meanwhile, the mother of all years is how CEO Tim Cook described his company's success before investors at Apple's annual shareholder meeting. Apple's stock has dropped more than 35% from its peak. Mark Niu was at the Apple shareholders meeting and joined us live from Silicon Valley. Mark.
Michelle, rumors of a stock split actually gave Apple shares a boost in the beginning, but by the end of the shareholders meeting, nothing was said about that at all. So Tim Cook did acknowledge that Apple share prices were disappointing, though, and that he, the board, and management were not happy about that at all. Protests have been a common feature outside Apple shareholder meetings, and this year is no different. These protesters say Apple uses a security guard company that is anti-union and spies on its employees. Inside, it was business as usual. Shareholders supported the positions of Apple's management by voting down two shareholder proposals. One, to require Apple executives to hold on to at least 33% of their shares until retirement, and the other to create a human rights committee in response to the suicides at Apple supplier Foxconn.
That was disappointing. I wish Apple had approved that because it would have lifted all the standards, and those are the standards they stand for.
CEO Tim Cook did not reveal any new products in the works, though he said Apple was innovating like crazy.
It doesn't make sense for them to announce what they're working on because their competitors tend to steal their products.
Tim Cook, CEO, reiterates the long-term perspective, and that's what Wall Street doesn't get because they do quarter to quarter to quarter to quarter.
Something else was missing from the ballot, though, a provision that would have allowed Apple to bundle together a number of issues, including those dealing with preferred stock, which major shareholder Greenlight Capital settled with a successful lawsuit against Apple. Cook once again called the lawsuit a silly sideshow and said it was not about whether Apple should return cash to investors, but more about shareholders' rights. Michelle.
Mark, that's a lot of cash that Apple is sitting on, $135 billion. Tell me, any other contentious issues that came to light during the meeting today?
Well, probably the harshest attack came when Apple opened up for comments on re-electing its board. One investor took shots at board member and former U.S. Vice President Al Gore for selling current TV to Al Jazeera. He said Gore should not be re-elected because of the things that he says that are not true and the things he does that are true. Gore and all members of the board, which include Disney's Robert Iger and also former CEO, Avon CEO Andrea Jung, were all re-elected by a wide margin. One shareholder also criticized Apple for allowing Samsung and Android to take a greater share of the market. Tim Cook stuck to his guns, though, stressing that Apple was not about putting the most products on the market, but rather putting the best products on the market. Michelle.
All right, we'll see what Apple comes up with. Seems like it was a very exciting meeting. Mark Niu, live for us in Silicon Valley. Thanks so much.